The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people, all this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report. In today's show, experts of the UN Special Program for the Economies of Central Asia, Kyrgyzstan's expectations and prospects within the Eurasian Economic Union, NGOs in Kazakhstan working out the problem of accountability before their beneficiaries, the heritage of Central Asia. Dynamics of the economies of Central Asian countries have lately become the focus of attention of international organizations. 16 years ago, under the initiative of the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, a UN Special Program for the Economies of Central Asia was founded. Its experts are offering their views on the development of the economies of the region. According to experts working at SPECA, the main factor that is slowing down the development of Central Asian countries is the geographic location. Absence of a direct access to the sea forces the governments to spend more money on the transport of goods to international markets. Therefore, for a more diversified economy of the region, the development of the transport and logistics infrastructure is crucial. One of the first steps in the direction of regional cooperation on this issue became the opening of the transcontinental railway line Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran. This railway line provides the shortest path to international markets. On one side, we have access to the markets of the Near East, on the other, to the Baltic region in Europe, and through Kazakhstan, access to China. After completion of this project, for Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, the transport of cargo towards the Persian Gulf will become cheaper and more time efficient. Experts at SPECA attribute special importance to this project, just as to the other transport and logistics project of the highway, Western Europe, Western China. With the launching of the Western Europe-Western China highway, the transit potential of Kazakhstan will increase even more. And this will give positive results, since the time required for the transport of cargo from, let's say, the Far East to China and other countries through Kazakhstan and to Europe will be much shorter. According to the calculations of the Asian Bank of Development, annually about $375 million will be required for the maintenance of the transport and logistics infrastructure. $160 billion will be required for the maintenance of the railway lines and highways. Overall, if we take into account other directions, the costs will exceed $800 billion. This is, of course, a huge amount, but it is necessary because it will definitely pay off. The establishment of high-quality infrastructure will have a positive influence on the economic growth of not only each country, but of the region as a whole. A well-developed communications network will contribute to the expansion of trade and strengthening of economic integration. Within the framework of SPECA, there are 6 working groups. One of these groups is focused precisely on the development of the information and telecommunications technologies. And this year, we're planning to hold another event of this project group in Tajikistan. The global economic crisis is still influencing the ways that countries set their economic priorities. The new cycle of difficulties in geopolitical economy should give an impetus to those sectors of the economies of Central Asian countries which for a long time, due to objective and subjective reasons, were not prioritized. This is the paradox and at the same time a unique opportunity of the current times. On January 1st of this year, a new economic structure began its functioning, the Eurasian Economic Union. Its members include 4 countries: Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus and Armenia. At the close of 2014, it became known that the 5th member of this economic union, Kyrgyzstan, will join in May of this year. However, Kyrgyzstan has already started its participation in the work of the administrative bodies of the union. The government of Kyrgyzstan has already modified about 100 of its draft laws, judicial acts and directives in accordance with the requirements of the Eurasian Economic Union. After the country's entrance into the Eurasian Economic Union, these borders become external barriers. Russia has already allocated $200 million towards modernization of the border infrastructure. Another $170 million is needed for the completion of these works, which the Republic hopes to receive from the neighboring Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan стоял у истоков.
Kazakhstan is one of the originators of the idea of creating a union based on economic interests. The initiative that began 20 years ago is starting to pay off.
20 лет тому назад было, она начинает давать плоды.
Within the framework of the new economic union, 4 freedoms of movement have been established: freedom of movement of goods, services, capital, and labor. For Kyrgyzstan, the freedom of movement of labor is particularly relevant. Free movement without the need for work permit, patent, and opportunity to find a job and stay there without worries. Periods of allowed stay will also be prolonged. Overall, many pending issues will be resolved, making the lives of our labor migrants much easier. For many years, the Kyrgyz Republic has relied on revenues from the re-export of Chinese goods. Small and medium businesses were also concentrated mostly in this sphere. With the Eurasian integration, Kyrgyzstan will have to halt its reliance on re-export and choose the path of developing its own trade and business sector. That is why today one of the priorities of economic development is the creation of the required infrastructure.
Мы не имеем пока что
For now, we do not have what is required to show off our products. This is because today we do not have a single terminal for the export of goods where products are prepared specifically for export.
Продукцию подготавливать именно к экспортным продажам.
For the realization of the program on industrial revival, Kyrgyzstan and Russia have established a joint development fund in the amount of $1 billion. The first funds will be transferred to Kyrgyzstan already in the spring of this year, a period which is usually associated with revival and prosperity. Establishment of a civil society is one of the priorities of the governmental reform strategy in Kazakhstan. The Republic is in a leading position among the Central Asian region countries in the number of NGOs. Now it is time for the quantitative advantage to transform into qualitative results. The non-governmental sector in Kazakhstan is developing quite dynamically and today is working out the issue of accountability before its beneficiaries, that is, those that make the use of their services. This issue arose as a result of the research conducted by the Eurasia Foundation of Central Asia. According to the results, many NGOs and their beneficiaries do not understand the purpose of their work, though there is a sort of a mission to improve the lives of a target social group. Representatives of 100 Kazakhstani NGOs were interviewed, as well as 200 of their beneficiaries. 58% of the respondents from the NGO sector represented public associations, 28% social funds, 9% associations of legal entities, and the rest were private, non-governmental establishments and funds. Our NGOs are not as close with their beneficiaries. However, it is the citizens of Kazakhstan that are supposed to be getting the benefits of these projects. Therefore, we came to the conclusion that our NGOs are not working as closely with them, and many of their projects are either superficial or not very productive or not thought through. Around one-half of the representatives of the NGO sector in Kazakhstan do not think that it is necessary to be accountable before the society. What's more, many of them understand accountability strictly in financial terms. The question that arises is whether our citizens understand the functioning of NGOs. To some extent, it is understood, but is it understood by all the parties and target groups involved? According to the results of this research, accountability mechanisms are employed by only 20% of Kazakhstani NGOs. For 60% of the respondents, the main advantages of accountability are awareness raising, showing the importance of NGOs, proof of their contribution to the development of a civil society. Experts believe that accountability should be legislated. We should be learning from the experience of the more developed economies, more developed societies, so to say, among which we should earn a respectable place. Experts studying the activities of NGOs note that today Kazakhstan is one of the leaders in the Central Asian region in terms of the number of third sector entities. What's more, NGOs have become full-fledged participants in the decision-making processes at the governmental level as well. However, specialists believe that there is a need for a more progressive approach towards the issues of responsibility and accountability of NGOs before their beneficiaries. The peoples of Central Asia have been traditionally and historically bound by close friendly relations. This concerns trade and economic relations, common historic roots, spirituality and culture. However, talent knows no borders. There are some gifts which have become the heritage of the entire Central Asian region. In Parviz Nazarov's studio, one can hear the sounds of musical instruments from many different countries of the world. However, the closest and most loved for Parviz will also be Kazakhstan and Tajikistan. 20 years ago, he came to Almaty for the very first time to take part in the competition Voice of Asia and was enchanted by the country and its culture. I had a large musical ensemble. There were 9 of us, 4 dancers and 5 musicians. That's how we worked. And every single one of us was deeply touched and enchanted by Kazakhstan. After the competition, Parviz returned to Dushanbe. However, after 2 years, the decision was made to go back to Kazakhstan for a longer period this time. He saw prospects in terms of a professional career. However, to Almaty, with his music, he brought Tajik culture.
Мои корни, даже если бы я этого не хотел, они все равно во мне. И вот эта вот культура, традиции, музыка.
My roots are always part of me, and this culture, these traditions, music, everything that I absorbed when I was little and was growing up. Everything that surrounded me is of course part of me. It's in my heart, my mind, my memories. And of course, even if I didn't want it to happen like this, all of it will still come out, either in the lyrics of songs or some melody.
Вылазить в виде каких-то, может, слов к песням или какой-то мелодии, вот, это все равно будет.
The Kazakhstani audience gave a warm welcome to the singer. The success and popularity of Parviz Nazarov, which has spread across the globe, started precisely here in Kazakhstan. And once these songs became well known here, after many years, they became popular in Tajikistan as well. Having experienced and accepted Kazakhstani culture, Parviz frequently sings traditional Kazakh songs and songs of national composers. And recently, he recorded a new composition with his sister, the singer Sitora Nazarova. Currently, they are working on 2 songs in Kazakh. One of them, a melodic ballad or El Sheake, only needs the dombra line to be recorded. And the song Algaja Star will see an addition to its musical color from the Eastern motifs. A Turkish drum, darbuka, will be used in its recording. According to Parviz, it is important to keep one's national culture not only in one's creative work, but in daily life as well. He married a Kazakh woman, and their family has united Kazakh and Tajik traditions.
У меня жена казашка, я таджик.
My wife is Kazakh, I am Tajik, and we both have to ensure that this flame of traditions continues to burn in our family and that our children know about their ancestors, the music, the traditions, what kind of costumes were worn, ornaments, and the songs that were sang. The music of Parviz reflects Tajik and Kazakh motifs, impressions left from travels and discoveries. A great future is ahead because a solid foundation has been laid by tradition and culture. You are watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.